Hello everyone and welcome back to the 12 Days of Film. My name is Soul and I am reviewing 12 different films on 12 different days, and today I am reviewing The Village, not the old M. Night Shyamalan movie. I'm talking about a 2023 Japanese Netflix movie that I watched in the dead of night. You have a random sleep schedule, you know how that happens sometimes, and then I found myself watching this movie at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and it was an experience, let me tell you. This is a dark, very slow burn drama. It felt like I was watching a mini-series at time. It definitely drags, not necessarily in a bad way, but this is a movie you really have to sit down and prepare yourself for. This isn't something you can throw on casually. It's not your Saturday morning cartoon type of movie. We follow a character named Yue who is stuck, figuratively and literally, in his childhood hometown. His father was a criminal who left him and his gambling-addicted mother in a lot of debt. Not only that, the entire village shuns him for what his father has done. So not only is he forced to stay there, he does not enjoy being there in the slightest. He answers to a bunch of loan sharks, his bosses, who have him doing sketchy under-the-counter work that he really shouldn't be doing. And when he's not doing that, he's just doing his shitty day job, day in and day out, until he is miserable. There's also a guy at his work who bullies him, who's going to come into play later. And you are seeing this guy at his lowest low, the darkest dark, one of the most pitiful existences I've seen in a character. But he is pulled out, he is elevated by romance. He falls in love with one of his coworkers, and you can see how this person shines a beacon onto his dark, depressing life, and how that beacon carries him to a much better place. He rises in the ranks at work. He has someone to come home to at the end of the day. He is smiling a lot more. Yue has probably one of the best character arcs in film I've seen this year. Only other one I can think of that can like rival that is like the guy from Godzilla Minus One. So it's ironic, 2 Japanese films. But yeah, this guy at his lowest low, and you want to see him do better. You want to see him rise up, and you see it. You see him fall in love and have this real connection, this real romance that feels completely genuine. And then we come to a culmination point where it's all on the line, and then you start to see everything that he gained slip through his fingers slowly but surely, and there's nothing he can do about it. He gets into some bloody fist fights. All his shady work that he did comes to light, and the entire town sees him as a shitty person, had a second chance, and now he's blowing it. And I used to think that Japanese film just had like terrible acting because everyone's super over the top and goofy, and their facial expressions are like to the 10th power on terms of how much they're delivering. But I have been proven wrong in the past year, especially with films like this, because the acting in this film is fucking incredible at times. I think there still is tendencies to overdo it, but like, as long as they earn those moments, the moments where, you know, the super tears are coming out or the super anger face, as long as they earn those moments, I'm fine with them. Even down to the final frame of this movie, the final couple minutes really are just a close-up of Yue. And the acting, the cinematography, everything on the final moments is something I'm going to remember about this film for a very long time. It helps because this film looks great. Like, the cinematography on this movie, like, I expected to throw on a cheap random Japanese movie, and what I got was a fucking blockbuster drama. There's also a like metaphorical undertext to this film where in Japanese they have this dance known as No. I am a weeb true and true, and I know almost next to nothing about this ritualistic dance they do, where they dance very slowly with these masks on as to entertain the gods and whatnot, from my understanding at least. And they use this as a huge metaphor for the film. That little subtext, which added to the finale, gave that little bit of a nail on the hammer that like, I got goosebumps at the end of this movie. And the ending to this film, I really do love, but like when it was happening, it made me upset. Like, you ever walk away from a film upset, like, how could they do this? And then like, more you think about it, you're like, yeah, that was the like artistic ending. That was the ending that like probably had the most emotion, but you want Yue to succeed. You want things to go well. That's not necessarily what the film was trying to say at the end of the day, and what they said left an impression on me. I have a lot of good things to say about this film. There's not a whole lot bad I have, other than, you know, it is a very slow-paced film. I found myself checking the time a couple times, but if you can watch it in a context like I did, I think you'll really enjoy this film. It's been on my top 10 for the entire year. It's been, like, you know, shifting around a lot, but it has remained in my top 10. If you're trying to get into more Japanese films, I would definitely recommend this one. As someone who's only seen a handful, I definitely am glad I sat down and took the time to appreciate it. With all that being said, I'm gonna give The Village an 8 out of 10. The first time I watched this movie, I wanted to sit down and give it the main channel video treatment. I really wanted to talk about this movie, but, you know, how videos slip through the cracks sometimes, I wasn't able to, so I'm happy I was able to at least talk about it in a short little review over here on the second channel. But I wouldn't mind seeing the film again, maybe do a bigger look at it maybe down the line. But I know a lot of the other films in the series are, you know, the big blockbuster movies, so I'm happy I was able to shine a light on this one. But we're coming up to the end of the 12 days of film. As always, thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow, and until next time, with that, I leave you.